A stick measurement has been called. It's the stick of Marty McSorley.
Welcome to Marty's Illegal Stick, a hockey history podcast with your host, Scott Kinville. Let's hop on that Zamboni time machine and go back in time to look at hockey's glorious history.
How we doing, hockey fans? And welcome to the all-new, rebranded, rebooted, renewed Marty's Illegal Stick, a hockey history podcast. We're now a hockey history podcast, folks, on our new home at the Sports History Network. I'm your host, Scott Kinville, and I tell you, this is going to be so much fun because, you know, when we were just Marty's Illegal Stick hockey podcast, we used to do this little thing called the Zamboni Time Machine. It was like always one of the most entertaining parts of the show. I used to love it. And so now we're basically just going to be doing one every day. It's going to be, or, well, every show, I should say. Not every day. That's way too much work for me. But
you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, right. Well, you know, that voice, if you've listened to the show before, should be very familiar. And if not, I would like to introduce my producer, my sidekick, my friend, Dave the Save Warner.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great.
You know, I mean, we finally got this show going because it's due to me. We've had a couple delays here. We we're playing follow the bouncing ball time.
Really? Yeah.
You know,
oh my God.
But that's okay. We're gonna get it going.
Yep.
You know, and we have got an awesome guest lined up today. I've been wanting to talk to this guy for a while. He's an amazing artist. I follow his work all the time on Twitter, and he's got a great website called CoolIceImages.com where you can check out and purchase his work. And I'm going to just bring him in right now. He is the one. He's the only Mr. Sebastien Chabauty. How are you?
Hey, great. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Listen, for starters, just thank you for coming on the show today. We appreciate you taking the time to come talk to us.
No problem. Anytime.
All right. So, like I said, CoolIceImages.com. Wicked, awesome website. I got to tell you, this is just, I almost sound like I'm fanboying out here, but it is. It's so cool to just browse through all your work. It's amazing. So on your website, I noticed you have, let's see, you got prints, paintings, acrylics. What's the difference between those three?
Okay. The acrylic is the medium, like it's the painting, the ink that I'm using. Like there's oil and watercolor. I use acrylic. And the paintings are the originals.
Okay.
So when you go on there and you punch up originals, like paintings, that's what it is. It's the original paintings. And prints are just a print of the original. So you're owning a print.
Okay, so it's almost like a copy kind of sort of thing?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
That's what it is.
That makes sense.
You can see you're a real art aficionado there.
I'm trying.
You gotta start somewhere.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Hey, listen, I had to work hard to pass art class. Okay, that was tough for me in school. I mean, if art was running their mouth, I mean, I'd have got straight A's. But you know,
yeah, you were still getting straight A's.
Yeah, right. Well, that's very true. Very true. So about your process. How do you get inspired, or how do you decide what you're going to work on for a particular piece?
It's very hard because I want to do them all. So I absolutely love vintage goaltenders. I love the masks, even the combos. You know, the helmet, the helmet and the cage, like Steve Penny wore. You know, or Glenn Healy for the Rangers. But the masks, I mean, when you look back into the 60s and 70s, 80s, those goalie masks were unbelievable. And that's what really gets me going. And it's just browsing through images on the internet and seeing Pelle Lindbergh and Ken Dryden and all those guys. And then I get right into it. I look at the sticks they had, the pads, everything, you know. And that's what really gets me going. And I will do paintings and then I'll post them. And then I get a lot of people commenting, and then I get questions. Can you make this guy or this guy, or, you know, and that's what really gets me going on them.
So one of our listeners here, Barry Shelley, says he loves the drawing that you did of Steve Baker. He has that up in his rink.
Oh, yes. Rink of Dreams, I think.
Yes.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. I'm a big follower. I watch his page all the time. It's fabulous what he did. Awesome.
Barry's a great guy. He actually lives close to here. He lives in right outside of Cooperstown.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're ironically the Baseball Hall of Fame is not the Hockey Hall of Fame, but the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yes, that's okay. I love baseball too.
Yeah, me too. So it's all good. And actually, I might as well just bring it up right now. It's not just hockey players on your website. You got football players and you got baseball players as well.
Yes, I do. I do some football, NFL. I think I've done about 4 or 5. That's it. Because I created such a huge crowd for hockey. What I do that I didn't really focus too much on football or baseball, which I should. I do talk to a friend on Twitter all the time, Greg Kreindler, if you've ever heard of him.
Yes, I follow.
And we chat all the time, and he inspired me a lot. The guy's like one of the best in the world, and like all the Yankees that he does all the time is unbelievable. And yes, I do have some baseball. I started doing some Yankees. I did. Which one did I do? I did Yogi Berra and Mickey Mantle, and and Jeter's there, jumping in the air.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome.
So that's a print because it has the logo in the back. So that's the print. Usually my paintings don't have logos on them.
Oh, all right. So that's kind of like how you can tell the difference then.
Yeah, unless if someone purchased a painting and they wanted the logo in the background or whatever they want, then I can paint it. And I get a lot of that from parents. They want if I do a painting of a 15-year-old playing hockey and they want the team logo in the back, then I'll paint it on there.
Okay, that's really neat actually. So, and you have the contact form on your website if somebody were to say, hey, that's a great idea. I got somebody coming up, it's their birthday and I have no idea what to get them or anything. So
Yep.
Awesome.
All for with the Fighting Sioux.
Yeah. So I actually wanted to ask you about that because what we're going to do, and if you're just going to be listening, you're just going to have to take our word for it because you won't be able to see it. But if you watch the YouTube version of this, we're going to be throwing some rapid fire out here. I just picked 10 random pictures off the website, and I figured we'll talk about them. This one caught my eye because obviously everybody knows that the Blackhawks colors are red, black, and white.
Yeah. So
what inspired you to work on this particular piece?
Actually, a person in the States, and that's a few years back, I don't know where, this guy wanted paintings. He was a big Ed Belfour fan, and he wanted paintings of all the teams he played for. So I started painting them, and he wanted the Fighting Sioux when he started in college or university, I think in the States, or college.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to make this one, and I love making this one. And I posted it, and so many people were confused. They were like, "This is Chicago. Why is he wearing green?" And
yeah.
And then I tell them, "Well, no, this is the Fighting Sioux." And they'd start arguing a little bit. He never played there. He played for Chicago. They didn't understand. They didn't do their homework going back.
Right.
Where he really started.
Yeah.
So that's what this one is. Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? Then you learn something new every day, because when I saw this, I actually thought that maybe they had done a special St. Patrick's Day uniform.
Yeah, like the Leafs.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Because the pants are green. He's wearing a green helmet, and obviously the numbering and the striping is green too. So, no, that's okay. So it was because of the. All right. Well, then, like I said, this is exactly why I picked that, because I wanted to know. All right. This was the Dominator, Dominic Hasek, when he was with the Buffalo Sabres. Yes. You know what caught my eye particularly about this one was I loved how you put the old odd in the background.
Yes. Just for some change, I started doing that. I put the old arenas in the back, and the old odd in the back. I think it looks really wicked.
It does,
and it brings back memories for a lot of people. I've had quite a few people saying that, like, oh, the old odd, and the Dominator, I just love it. And instead of the logo, and it just adds to the picture,
Oh, it does. You know what? And I'll tell you, my first NHL game that I saw was at the Odd.
Oh, beautiful.
So when I was a kid, I grew up a gigantic Wayne Gretzky fan. I idolized the guy, right?
Yeah.
And so I was an Oilers fan until they made the mistake of trading him. And then, of course, I decided to follow the Kings because, I'm like, well, if you can't hang on to Wayne, then you can't have my fandom too. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
That's right.
So in 1990 for a Christmas present, my parents actually got 2 tickets for Kings at Sabres.
Yeah.
And so my dad took me out there, and they were, when I say nosebleed seats, let's put it this way. The blood was floating to the top because there was no more gravity. That's how high we were. We were so high, you could see the top of the scoreboard that was hanging over the ice, right?
Yeah, that's funny. I have a friend, actually, it's funny you say that because I had a friend that went to Montreal. It's actually in the Bell Center. I thought it would have been in the Forum, but it was in the Bell Center. And he looked at his friend and he said, I have a nosebleed. And they thought he was saying we're in the nosebleed section. And he did have a nosebleed. And they were all laughing like, oh, my goodness. He's got a nosebleed.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That is great. You know, here's, if you can just go right back to the Sabres one there. You know, I'll tell you too, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I really miss the old buildings.
Oh, no kidding.
I really do.
Me too. They were all, a lot of them were different sizes, the rinks inside the ice, which made it even better, because you knew, like, you're going to Boston, it's going to be so small. You go to a bigger rink, like everything was different. It was so much, even the lines, I really pay attention to detail. And like in the old Montreal Forum, the bottom of the boards were blue.
Yes.
Blue, it made it different, like everybody's the same now. They with Gary Bettman, he made it, I think it was him. They made it that all the rinks had to be specifically the same size, and they're all yellow at or orangey yellow at the bottom. Everything's the same. So that's what's kind of it's missing, like the old Winnipeg Jets arena.
Queen Elizabeth.
You walked in there and you smelled hockey.
Yes.
Like, I've been there so many times.
Those were just dirty shorts. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. But it was good. It made you want to buy more beer.
Well, yeah, right.
No, that smell does not make me want to buy beer.
Well, once you have a couple, you will. Don't worry.
You wanted some. But no, those buildings something different.
Yeah, those buildings had so much personality. Each and every single one of the other ones.
The Montreal Forum, like, oh my God.
With the fans right on top of the action, I
mean, you're in the Forum.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of these, these modern arenas are beautiful and they got all the bells and whistles and every amenity you can imagine. But sometimes to me, that kind of takes away from it a little bit too.
Well, like the Winnipeg now, because I'm in Manitoba, Winnipeg with the new arena they have, it's like a bowl, right? So everybody looks at each other, like it's like a lower bowl. It just doesn't feel the same. You're not on top of the action,
Right. Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's what I miss.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's just no doubt about it. And you'll never see it again. That's the worst part.
This painting actually, these are the prints. Some were the logos with the logos, and these with the odd. They were sent to Dominic Hasek in Prague, and he signed some for me.
Really?
Yeah, and he kept some. He really liked them. I sent him a message to give some to his family, family members or whoever, friends. Apparently, he told me that he took him to where he plays hockey, old timer hockey with some guys, and I think they all took him anyway. All the players, they all wanted one signed by him, so. He didn't really have any left.
Well, that's great, though. That is really, really awesome. And by the way, just before one last comment before we take that picture down, which uniform was better, the blue and the gold or the black and the red for the Sabres?
Oh, the blue and the gold.
Thank you. All right.
You got to go back.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
History, yeah.
All right, let's move. There we go. Dino Cissorelli with the Minnesota North Stars. I got to tell you, this one just caught my eye because I love the old Minnesota North Stars uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, I don't think there is a vintage uniform that I really didn't like.
Right.
And
they're beautiful.
They are. And it's too bad that Dallas couldn't have worked out some kind of an agreement to actually carry on those colors.
Yeah, even the Wild, the Wild should go back to using these, like even if they don't want to make it their official jersey, just to use them once in a while, like the Jets do with the old Jets,
Right. And for the Jets, that's even more difficult because the Coyotes actually own that trademark.
Yeah, I know.
So, it's one of those, okay.
Well, the Coyotes went back to their original jerseys there.
Yes.
And they actually, I used to hate those jerseys, and now I love those jerseys. I don't know why. I think they look better than that red. What kind of color would that be?
Yeah. Yeah, it was almost like a brick kind of color.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And maybe it just had to do with the gigantic coyote head on there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's when Gretzky took over, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That's right.
One of the few swings and misses for the great one.
Yes. But at least he can look back, and he's done lots.
Yeah, right, exactly. But no, seriously, I mean, even when the Wild did the reverse retros,
Yes.
it was a couple of years ago, and I couldn't believe there was actually a reaction that some people didn't like those.
Yeah, I know.
Well, how do you not like those? You know?
Well, there's quite a few people, like the Buffalo one. I get a lot of messages. Oh, if you paint Dominic Hasek again, can you put him in the black and the red and the silver? That's my favorite jersey. You know, that's some people. It's the newer crowd, eh? They like the newer jerseys, and I mean they like the old ones, but some are attached to their jerseys that they grew up watching them, right?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, that's like with a lot of Kings fans actually.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the older Kings fans prefer the form blue and gold.
Yeah.
Whereas like the ones that came up my era, like no, they're black and silver. And it's like that constant dichotomy.
Yeah, I know.
So all right, let's move right along to the next one here. Dave the save. And Denny Savard. Now there is in the proper Blackhawks colors.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
So
when I was asked to do Denis Savard Chicago, I had to put the mustache on him when he was young, and his helmet there that he got on there. I think it's a Cooper that he's wearing.
uh-huh.
And I had to make him. It's exactly how he was skating anyway, and looking with the puck,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then he would just rifle it.
Yeah, right. Or he'd do the spin around somebody and just embarrass somebody.
He was.
Oh, he was. He really was. And you know what the thing is too is like I know there's like some that in the 80s it was all just offense and there was no goaltending. I'll tell you that was one of the funnest eras of hockey, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. The 80s were awesome.
I think every once in a while you need a 9-8 game just to keep everybody on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's amazing the amount of like the talented scorers that came out of that era, but they were all overshadowed by like the Gretzky's and the Lemieux of the world, right?
Yes, that's right. Oh yeah, there were so many good players. You look at Dale Hawerchuk.
Yes,
the guy was amazing. Such a great player. I met him, and he was so nice. Such a humble person, and he had to fight his way through with Gretzky. I mean, so you never could be at the top because you got the Oilers. And
right.
That era, those guys were, and the Jets had a wicked team. They had a really good team, but trying to beat those Oilers, that was a dynasty team. I mean, you couldn't, anything you tried, they'd come back, and you were never safe until the last second.
Well, that's true too, because I mean, with those Oilers teams, when they were first winning their first couple, I mean, that was pretty much all offense. But as that team evolved into like the third and the fourth cups, they learned how to play defense a little bit.
But when you had a guy like Paul Coffey, which was like a Bobby Orr, he would carry the puck end to end, so they still had really good defense. And then you had Grant Fuhr and Andy Moog. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
They had everything going, that team. It was unbelievable.
Absolutely. And I noticed you have a couple of paintings of Moger on here, both with the Oilers and the Bruins.
Yes, I just did the Oilers one.
Okay.
And that's a really nice painting. I really like that painting. The Bruins one is an older one, but the Edmonton one was good. And I did a lot of Grant Fuhrs. I think I did 4 Grant Fuhrs up to now. Yeah,
and I'd tell you they're all fantastic. They really are.
Thank you. And I met him, and he signed them all, and he really liked them too. It's really nice to see the players liking them and looking at them and smiling. I don't know if it's bringing back memories, but they enjoy them, so it's good.
I'll tell you too. I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but hockey players really are the most humble, down to earth of the professional athletes.
Yes, they are. One of the most humble person I've ever met was Guy Lafleur. That person was unbelievable. He was such a great guy, and he would talk to you like if you were one of his best friends, down to earth, not watching what he's saying, just one of the guys. He was such a great guy.
Just being a wonderful human being. And I'll tell you, him and Mike Bossy and Clark Gillies, who we've all just gone too soon.
Oh, no kidding. And Howard
Yeah.
Chuck too. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
57
Howard Chuck
years
you
old.
before, right?
57 years old. Like
It's so sad. It really is.
it really is. Yeah.
Got a couple of comments. Ron Jameson says the Whaler sweaters are the best. What do y'all think about that?
You know, I wanted to ask him about that because that is going right back to that 80s era. There were so many great uniforms.
Yeah.
Between the North Stars, the Whalers, the Nordiques.
Yeah. Yeah. I just did Sean Burke of the Whalers. And I think I made, when I started quite a few years back, I made John Garrett. I think I did 2 or 3 Whalers, but I wasn't saving them with a scanner back then.
Mhm.
And a person bought them and they were gone. And I have to repaint them again. I got to put them on the list.
Wow.
But I just did a Sean Burke, and it's a really nice one. I actually sent a few prints to Sean Burke to sign, and he's such a great guy. He said, no problem, I'll be honored. And he signed them and he sent them back to me. No problem.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sebastian Barry says you need to do one of me.
Of Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
He's got to get me on the ice first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
can you paint somebody laying flat on their face on the ice? Because that's probably about what would happen.
No, yeah, I can skate, boy.
If we can
Yeah.
put a beer can beside him, that's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. All right. I'm
Then you
good
have
with
an
that.
excuse, right?
Yeah. Yeah. As long as the cans, there's a trail of cans to the rink.
Yeah,
I
that's
have an
right.
excuse.
That's right. Yeah, Barry, no problem. You send me a picture and I can make a paint.
Oh, that's even better. Oh, that's great.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Thank you, Barry. We appreciate that.
And don't draw it with the puck behind him. See, it's me making a
See?
save.
Yeah, yes,
okay,
yes, of
all
course.
right, yeah.
Of course.
That's right. You know, I get so many comments like that when someone doesn't like a goaltender. You know, even though back
Put the
then,
puck behind him.
yeah, even though back then, you know, you didn't like a goalie or what, that's gone now. You know, like I'll draw when I did the Steve Penny one of Montreal. So many comments. Oh, the puck should be behind them, you know, or a beach ball behind them, or people are so angry. You know? Yeah, they're so angry. I don't know why.
That's too funny.
That's
When
great.
you make it to the NHL, I mean, you're top notch. I don't care what you say.
It doesn't
Right.
even matter if you're the worst player in the NHL. You're
That's
top
right.
notch.
Yeah, it doesn't happen by accident. That's
Yeah.
for sure. It's not like they hold like a contest.
That's right.
Here, you draw the lucky straw. Oh, you get to be an NHL goalie tonight. Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's right.
Not.
That's too funny.
Oh,
All the
boy.
pucks would be hitting me in my ass because I'd be hiding.
I'm sure some goalies got hit in the ass. That's for
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I'm sure they did.
sure. Yeah.
Well, did you ever hear the story? You ever hear the story about the goalie who caught himself on fire?
Here it goes. I knew that was coming.
Hey, you knew it was coming.
I knew.
One of our old Zamboni time machines. I just look for these crazy old time stories, right? And there was actually a goalie back in the 30s, and I think he was in Quebec actually, and he had a pack of cigarettes with matches in his shirt pocket, and he put his goalie gear on over. Well, back then the goalie gear was nowhere near, of course, what it was now.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a freak accident that he took a shot to the chest and it hit the matches and it ignited him. Well, he had his gear on over it and he didn't know until.
What a show that would have been.
Yeah, could you imagine that?
Imagine
my
you're
God.
having a beer, you're watching that.
Yeah, right.
Dude, you're on fire.
Yeah, I was going to say. I wonder if he really did stand on his head trying to get that fire out.
Oh,
This
my God.
beer's good. Oh,
Wait, don't waste the beer on that fire.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Too funny.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, boy. Let's see. What did we put up here next? Looks like Cujo.
Cujo, yeah.
Question for you.
Yes.
Now, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. How about you?
Here's another puck behind him
I don't
question.
know. Yeah, like the Hall of Fame thing, I never really paid too much attention to it. Like,
Mhm.
you know, it's Hall of Famers. I just don't know. Like, did he win the cup? I don't think he won the cup.
No, he came close.
He came close.
He was
He was in
06,
Detroit
right?
with the Dominator, but I don't think he was part of the cup when they won.
No, I don't think he was.
No, I like he's very well known, very good goalie. I just don't know if he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
it's
tough.
a very hard question. It's tough, that one.
It is because
I don't know how they decide players to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's the thing too. There is really no clear cut, right? Like in baseball, if a player gets like 3,000 hits, or if a player hits 500 home runs, it's almost like a lock, right? They're going to be in. Whereas in hockey, there's so many different variables.
Well, exactly, and Hockey Hall of Fame is not just NHL.
Right. Exactly. All over the world.
Yeah, that's why you have I think Haley Wickenheiser is in there.
Mm-hmm.
From Team Canada, a really good hockey player. She's in there, and C. Cujo's not. So that's the difference, So I don't really know how they base the Hockey Hall of Fame. That's a question for Barry Shelley.
Yes, exactly. Well, he's got his own Hall of Fame for the Rink of Dreams.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This rink is amazing. If you're ever in upstate New York, let us know. You got to check this out.
Oh, I will for sure.
Absolutely. And I think what makes it difficult for the Hall of Fame too is they only put a certain amount of players in each year. So it's like 4 to 6. Yes. So you really have to, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you hear booming in the background, that's a thunderstorm moving by us.
Yeah, that's the storm we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Hey, it's sound effects for free.
Yeah, well,
that's right.
I got plenty of sound effects. I don't need them to add that,
It's the late 4th of July.
Yeah, there you go.
Something.
Exactly.
We can do sound effects.
Exactly. All right, let's go to the next one here. What do we got? Connor Mcdavid. So I put this one up here because for one thing, that is a fantastic piece of work right there. Connor McDavid, of course, hands down the most exciting player in the league. Yes. And I really wanted to put this up for you just so that people know that you do modern players as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I do everything. Anything they want, I paint them. I usually put the year where my signature is. So if you look in the corner where it's a Sebastien Chabauty, the year should be in there.
Oh, okay.
Can't see it.
Okay.
2000 something. I think it's probably 2017 or 18 there.
Okay.
No kidding. All right. That's good to know.
Unless this one doesn't. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't
quite
see it.
So.
Yeah, I don't have it large enough to where I can see it, but I don't think so.
Let me see. Let me pull it up on the computer here.
I put the year in there usually. So
let's see.
People can look back.
Oh, yeah. I think it's 2017. I see it now. See it?
Look up. 2017.
Yeah.
I pulled it up on the...
Yeah.
My eyes are nowhere near what they used to be. So
that's an old painting.
But no, I mean that's a fantastic piece of work. And
are you able to pick if I tell you a player to put up?
No, we gotta. It's got to be converted.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be converted to a certain format to put up here on StreamYard, and then I have to pull the other ones off. So it would take me like 5 minutes to do that.
Well, actually, did you get the one with the goalie with the mask on the side?
Yes.
Do
you want that one next?
Let's go to that one next. Yeah.
All right.
So these are awesome, and I'm sure you want to talk about these.
Bernie. Yes, Bernie Perrant, great guy. I started doing the mask. Actually, my wife told me a few years ago, you should do the goalie mask, do the goalie. And I never got into it. I've always, because I'm so busy doing the players. And I decided to, who got me on the mask? Actually, a guy from Czechoslovakia, Yuri, he wanted the vintage goaltenders from their national team, CSSR, with the mask beside them. And I started doing, remember I just sent you some?
Yes.
And those goaltenders, that was the first ones I started doing. And I added this mask to this painting because the painting didn't have the mask. So I had to look back and see which paintings were moved to the side and add a mask to it.
Okay.
And I was able to add the ghost mask of Bernie beside him. And it worked out really good. And then I did Ken Dryden.
Mm-hmm.
I did just a few. I just started the masks on beside the goaltenders. And now I'm doing it probably. I'm going to be doing it all the time probably. Or it's going to be a series maybe,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you can have the goaltender by itself. Or I try to put it 3-dimensional, just not flat, so it's kind of like it's floating in the air. So it's kind of pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. That is so awesome. And
Because a lot of people love masks, you know.
sure.
You know, like you go on Facebook and there's a lot of vintage goalie mask site or things like that. It's all about goaltender masks, and when I post that on there, they really like it because it brings back memories. Some people didn't even know that Bernie wore that mask, you know.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And really, I mean, especially, later on, goalie masks became a work of art themselves.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I don't, because I didn't tell you this before, but with the format that we have, it only allows us to put 10 pictures up. So
Okay.
I had like 20 of them. And
We
I
got
said,
one
Dave's
more.
gonna have to, I go, well, Dave's going to sell. I'm going to, before you do that. So like, as far as like the goal, and I don't think we've got it in there, but your website also has like Vladislav Tretiak, Jimmy
Yes.
Craig. So you're doing international ones too. And
Yes.
those are absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And it's really sad with Tretiak. Could you imagine if he could have played in the NHL?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah.
And the interesting thing is he was drafted by Montreal.
Yeah. But I don't think they let him go, right?
No, he was, by the time he was, when they were starting to release their players, he was already retired.
Weren't all those players military too?
Yes. That was part of the deal. I guess because they played for the Soviet national team, and that like committed them to like 20 years in the military or something like that. So much different.
I have a friend that has a site, JLB Rarities Sports.
Okay.
JBL, I think it's JLB, and he deals a lot with the Russians and Team Canada and all that. And one day he approached me and said that he had Vladislav Tretiak for doing a signing because I believe he's Russian.
Yes.
And no, the guy that owns the store.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he is right.
Who's on first? No, what's on second? I'm sorry. You lost me.
Sometimes he'll fly to Russia.
Okay.
So he got Boris Mikhailov signed for me. He got Vladislav Tretiak signed for me, which is awesome. I mean, I have it in the bedroom. Vladislav Tretiak signed autograph with the painting. So that's never coming down. So the wedding picture came down and Vlad.
The thrill is gone.
That is a true hockey guy right there. Let me tell you.
Right.
But it's absolutely amazing because Montreal drafted Tretiak, I believe it was in '84, and it was like a lower round pick, just on a wing and a prayer that he might be able to come over.
Right.
And the amazing part was 2 years later, Patrick Waugh burst on the scene and won him the Stanley Cup in '86. Yeah. And it's funny to think what could have happened if Tretiak actually was able to come over.
Yeah.
We might not have ever known about Patrick Waugh, at least not with the Canadians.
Yeah, that's right. And Steve Penny was playing for Montreal, and young Patrick Roy was coming up, and Steve Penny did awesome in the playoffs for Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as he went down a little bit, he was out, and Patrick Roy came up. They knew who was coming up,
Oh yeah.
And that's why Steve Penny's career kind of went down after that. He went to Winnipeg. I think they traded him to Winnipeg, and we never really saw him in Winnipeg that much. And that was the end of his career. And it's too bad because Steve Penny was a good goaltender.
And he was. You're absolutely right.
Especially the battle against Quebec.
Yeah, right.
He was in there in the playoffs, and he did really good. They were awesome.
Well, people forget just how intense that rivalry was too, especially like younger fans have no idea.
Yeah. They just have to Google and go back on YouTube and watch the old games.
Like and get the popcorn ready.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's see. What do we got now? What do we got? Oh, the Golden Jet right there. Bobby Hull.
Yeah, with Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, that's another great one. Amazing. The shots that the guys like him and Al McInnes had with the sticks that they were using.
Yeah, he had one of the hardest shots, Bobby Hull.
It was terrifying.
Yeah, back then. He really did. And I made that painting, and he was in Winnipeg for the WHA. I think they were getting together. And a lot of players like Joe Daly and those guys, Ulf Nielsen, they were all there. And Bobby Hull was there. I could make it. And a friend of mine, I gave him the prints to take there, and a long shot to try and get Bobby Hull to sign him. But they were in the Fort Garry Hotel, I believe, and it was closed up. But he managed to get in somehow. And one of the receptionists, he gave her a free print and she let him in. And apparently they gave it to Bobby Hull and he loved them. And he signed them, and he gave his phone number to my friend to give to me, and I phoned them up. And he was just an awesome guy. He was really cool to talk to. I had to speak loud because he can't hear as much anymore.
Right.
But he was a great guy, just a great guy. Yeah.
And you know what kind of gets forgotten too is the impact that players like him had on the sport by going to the WHA.
Yeah.
It kind of opened up all the money train for those players back then.
Yes.
And especially going to Winnipeg. And I wish there was a little bit more coverage about the old World Hockey Association.
Yes.
It was a fun league. It really was. Especially you guys up in Winnipeg. You had to love it for a while there. I mean, you pretty much you owned the Avco Cup for a while.
Yeah, I think they won it 3 times in a row or 2 times.
Yeah.
Well, when the Avco Cup, when the WHA was here, I was living in Quebec in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't even know about the WHA because I was a kid. And I was watching the Montreal Canadiens with Ken Dryden, Guy Lafleur, and those guys in the 70s. And I did not even know. Like, the kids back then knew nothing about the WHA out there. So it was all about Lafleur, Robinson, Savard. We knew about Trichak. We knew about Tony Esposito, Jerry Cheevers, all the big names. And the WHA, when we moved to Manitoba in 1980, is when the Jets jumped into the NHL.
Right.
And yeah, that's when I started watching the Jets because they were.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, what a class they went in with too. Like legendary teams like the Hartford Whalers, of course, the Quebec Nordiques. I mean, everybody loves the Whalers and they all miss them. And of course, what the Oilers did once they got in was just absolutely unbelievable.
Yep. They need to bring back Quebec and Hartford.
I wish that they would maybe do like almost like a preseason game there or something. I don't think they'll ever put another NHL team there, but a preseason game wouldn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
They
don't look at. I don't think they look at filling the seats, right? It's all about sponsorship and
right
and big companies buying tickets and everything and all those those boxes, right, being sold out and
yep.
It's totally different than back then, right? Even though the Quebec Nordiques, even though Quebec could fill the seats and Phoenix can't, right?
That is unreal.
Matter. They have a brand new arena in Quebec. Like, it's beautiful.
Yeah, state of the art.
Yeah, and they're not moving a team there. And you got a team in Phoenix that's losing millions every year. So it doesn't make sense, but it's all political sports.
Yeah. Well, not even that. I mean, of course, Arizona's going to be playing in a college rink for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Which, you have to feel for the team, but that's really embarrassing to the league, if you ask me. But even like before Florida started having their success this year.
Yeah. For that,
they could give tickets away.
I know.
And
that's a big problem. When you start giving tickets,
yeah,
the wrong way to go about, because people are going to be expecting to get free tickets.
Sure.
So that it's not good. Just to put people in the seats which don't care, it's not good.
No, you're absolutely right. And for years, I understood, I guess, them not wanting to move Arizona to Quebec because they didn't want to upset the balance between the conferences.
Yeah.
But it would have been no problem to move Florida.
Right.
When they weren't drawing 8,000 people per game. I mean, that's, there's AHL teams that drew better than that.
That's right.
So, I mean, I think Quebec got the short end of the stick as far as that goes.
It's sad for the fans in Phoenix because there is some fans that
sure
Coyotes, and I feel bad for them. But I mean, look at Atlanta when they lost the team to Winnipeg.
Right.
It was the best move ever.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
Because you're going to an angry city that loves hockey. There's a hockey rink on every street.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you go to Arizona, there was, I think when they moved there, the Jets, there was 3 rinks in the whole city. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault. I mean, there's just no hockey there.
Right.
There was no hockey, really.
And the funny part is they did have a little bit of a hockey history with the Phoenix Roadrunners in the IHL, but nothing to the extent of the NHL. But I mean, you look at like when the Thrashers moved to Winnipeg. So once they got to Winnipeg, the Jets are the game in town.
Oh yeah.
They're the end all be all. I mean, other than the Blue Bombers, of course, in the CFL.
Yeah.
But down in Atlanta, the Thrashers played second fiddle to the Braves, to the Falcons, to the Hawks, to everything else that was going on down there.
You guys, your college hockey, football, anything beats the NHL. You have more fans in the college sports than the NHL. In those,
absolutely.
And you can't blame them. That's the way it is.
No, you're absolutely right. And I mean, and that's why, they always say, well, the market size is bigger. Well, to me, that doesn't make too much sense.
Yeah.
Because if a team is struggling in a large market,
yeah.
Well, don't you think they would be much better off being in so in a smaller market, but where they are the big fish in the small pond, so to speak?
It's got to do with the TV contracts, and that's what it is. It's all about, the higher things like that, the
money stuff. Money.
Yeah.
Money. That's what it is. It's huge, compared to filling the rink with being in Quebec, or they don't care. I think they have a plan, and that's what they do,
Right.
That's why they hit Vegas and Seattle, even though they say, well, it's evening, it's going to be the Western Conference is going to be even with you can always push a team over, like it's
sure.
Like Chicago could go in the West, or they could stay in the East, or, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can deal with that.
I always thought Detroit just belongs in the West, but that's just me being old school, I guess.
You just don't like them.
Well, no, it's just that.
No, he doesn't like them.
No, I don't mind the Red Wings. That's
no. You don't like the jersey colors.
No, it's not that at all. I always thought of them as like a Western Conference team, because that's the era that I grew up in.
Yeah,
they were in the West, so they had those great rivalries with like the Blues, with the Blackhawks, and later on the Avalanche.
The North Division.
Yeah, and that was a great division. That really was.
Chicago, Detroit. Yeah.
I wish they'd kept those division names too.
Well, yeah, that's
even the Prince of Wales and the Campbell Conference, it was just made it so special. And that's another thing that Bettman did to try to homogenize everything. And we got to be like every other sport and call our conferences the East and the West. And
Ron Jameson says Bettman sucks. Time for new president.
I think there's a very, very large group of people that think the same way, to be honest with you.
Yeah. You guys ever watch the All-Star game?
Yes, the All-Star game. You know what? I used to love it when it was the Wales against the Campbells.
Yeah.
And you know what? Looking back at some of those old games, so they were playing half speed, but it still seemed like they were playing for something.
Right.
And not to mention, I love those orange and black uniforms.
They were trying back then.
Yeah.
Well, go back, you look at the All-Star games when it first started. You go back in the 50s, 60s, they were having bench brawls.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how much they wanted to win.
Sure.
Like now they just skate around the guy, and the goalie goes down, doesn't even try to make a save. He puts it in. That's the 15th goal of the game. It's kind of.
Well, you got to remember back then too, like if you were MVP, you won a car or something like that. Well, those guys were making that great of money, so that new car was like, oh, I got to have that. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know.
So real quick, who were some of your favorite players growing up?
Guy Lafleur in the 70s, Guy Lafleur and Ken Dryden. And when we moved to Winnipeg, it was Howard Chuck. And I loved Doc Soultard and Ed Stanowski in that.
Nice.
Those
very
two
nice.
Goalies and their goalie mask. I'm going to be making them real soon. A painting of each with the mask on the side, because those masks were unbelievable, And I just got on Twitter, I got a like from Doc Soultard.
Really?
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to get a hold of him somehow, and I'll have to get some autograph prints for fans. I do a lot of giveaways on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah. Like I said, I love the stuff you put out there. It's amazing.
Got a couple
I'll get
questions.
Some stuff signed, and if there's extras and all that, I'll do a giveaway and anything, just to share with the fans,
Oh, absolutely.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
So Ron wants to know, we got a couple of questions here. Do you think tournament, i.e. Canada Cup or Rendezvous?
Oh, geez. Rendezvous. That's
man.
We're going back.
87. Yeah.
Yeah. Rendezvous would be awesome.
And you know what? That would be the perfect spot for it too. Quebec City. Because I know like when they do the World Cup, they want to try to spread it out and stuff like that. But why not put it in a city where they got the state-of-the-art arena, but they don't have the NHL team? Let them showcase themselves a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. That would be perfect, you know?
And then Barry wants to know if you've ever done a picture of Eddie Shore.
Yes, there's one on here.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
There is one on here.
It's an older one.
Yes.
But I did do it, Eddie Shore, and I did George Vezina too, of Montreal.
Yep. It's there too.
I did with Boston. Yep, I did one, Barry.
Now, did you do one of Eddie Shore skating his players around the ice until their tongues were dragging out like he used to do when he was in Springfield? So,
yes. No. Nope.
Oh boy! I mean, because you ever seen that Don Cherry story?
Yes.
It was a made-for-TV movie. It's just hilarious. Just the interaction, and I know they were actors, but it's still between him and Shore was just hysterical.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those are awesome movies. That one and what was the other one? There was another one with Ted Lindsay.
Yes, one.
Yeah. They what was it called? I can't remember what it's called. And there was Gordie Howe in it, and it was the start of the Players Association, I think.
Yes. What was that called? Oh, I can't remember. I know exactly what you're talking about too.
Yeah, and that was a good one too. That one and the Don Cherry one, those were awesome. And Miracle on Ice is unbelievable when he's making them skate back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they were watching the girls.
I got tired watching that.
Yeah, I went to bed. Yeah, Eddie Shore I did a long time ago. I
got it right here in front of me. You got Eddie Jockman. Oh man, Gump would love that one.
Barry says, or tied the goalie's arms to the goalpost during practice so they wouldn't fall down to make a save like he did in Springfield.
The Don Cherry movie. Do you guys remember? You remember when the goalie was tied to the net by the throat?
Yes.
You remember that? So he wouldn't go down on his knees. So he had to stand up.
Exactly. Could you imagine that?
That actor, the goalie, is a friend of mine, actually.
Oh, geez.
Really?
Yeah, and he told me he was going to be in that movie, and I was watching the movie, and I didn't even know it was him until I really looked closely. Oh, my goodness, there's Mike. He's got a noose around his neck.
That could be your next painting. There you go. Yeah. The Eddie Shore tribute.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even, I don't even think he speaks in the movie. He just sits there and he's
just terrified look on his face.
Well, when you got a noose around your neck, hard to speak.
Yeah, really.
That was really cool.
Oh man, that's great. That is so great. Sebastien, where can we find you on social media?
Okay, Facebook, you just look up my name or Cool Ice Images. Mm-hmm. And then you got Twitter, and that's 01 Hockeyman01.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you can find me there, or you just punch up on Google coolliceimages.com, and you can see it there, and you can send me messages, anything.
Yeah,
I'm not hard to find.
No, and I'll tell you, if anybody's out there on Twitter and is not following, you got to, because it's great. He puts out these different paintings every day. Different little polls, like you said, it's awesome. It really is. And so just to reiterate, so if somebody really does want a custom done, you can do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They just have supplied pictures and I'll go to work.
What are you looking at for cost on that?
Usually I keep it very low for people, about $250.
Oh, that's
not bad at all.
Boy, that's really reasonable.
No, very low. I have a friend here that does similar paintings. It's watercolor. And he's asking like $1,000 or $900 a painting.
Yeah, but tell him watercolors are for sissies.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, this for flowers.
That, not me, okay.
His paintings are really, really good, but they're the same size as mine. But the thing is that I've been told so many times by people, you got to bring up the price. You know, people have to pay, but that's not what I want to do. I really want to keep vintage hockey going. People won't forget about these guys, and I want to make it affordable for everyone.
Sure,
that's my biggest thing, because a person with a lot of money, well, they can buy more paintings, but a person that doesn't have that much money, because it's a tough world out there, they can afford it,
Right.
So that's how I go about it,
Well, Scott, I want to be suited up so you can get a picture, so I can get him to
Oh.
do a painting of Dave the Save, because that's what Barry wants.
Yes. Well, he just wants to put it in his rink. That's it.
This is true.
A picture of Dave the Save sprawling all over the ice with a beer can next to him.
Well,
With the
I have one
perfect-
already in my head that you're on the ice with a beer.
With the puck behind me.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the glow of the red light on behind him.
Yeah, that
That's
would
right.
that would be me.
The puck behind, or a beach ball behind, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, I could sit here and talk for hours with you over all these pictures on here, because this is
Let's not.
absolutely fantastic. But yeah,
Let's keep going.
I don't want to make too much more work for Dave. So
Yeah, really.
yeah, I mean, you'll have to come back on again sometime if you would.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure, yeah, with newer pictures.
yeah, absolutely. We'll get a whole
Yeah,
new batch,
yeah.
and we'll discuss those as well. But again, anybody who wants Sebastien, coolliceimages.com, and you will not be disappointed. Any fan of hockey would absolutely love this. Or like you said, you got Major League Baseball and you got NFL on there too. So
They're great.
Exactly. Yeah, I've had a few people ask for baseball lately, and I maybe take on too much because I've got like 15 players to make, and then people are asking, "Oh, can you make Pete Rose or or Gary Carter of the Expos?" And I really want to make them, but then I look back and now I got these 15 guys to do first. So
right.
so.
Well, Sebastien, I've owned 2 art galleries before, and your work is really good. So that's a real
thank you.
compliment from somebody who knows better.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, this is great. How long does it take you to make one?
It varies. If I'm nonstop on it, 2-3 evenings. That's all it takes. Because it's not super hard for me, because I don't have the background, right? I just do the player.
Okay.
So I focus on the player only, ice level. If you look at all my paintings, they're all like ice level. They're not from the top view or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, and I actually try to do the pose that they're famous for, like Dominic Hasek, like that.
Nice. I did a painting once in high school too of Wayne Gretzky, and it took me like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
How did the crayons last that long?
Well, let's put it this way. I got a D from the art teacher, and it was just out of pity. She's like, "You really tried."
Well, some people, it takes them months to make paint.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2-3 days about that. It takes maybe 5 days. It depends. It's hard for artists. You got to be in the mood.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Well, true. Yeah, because it's not something it's like an assembly line.
Yeah, exactly. Like sometimes I got to make a painting for someone, and I don't feel like painting. I don't feel like doing it at all. And once you get going, then it goes by so quick. Like I'll be painting. I remember doing Ken Dryden, and I looked at the clock. It's 8 p.m. And then I looked again. It was 3 a.m.
Wow.
That's how much you're into it, and you're painting, and you don't even see the time fly.
Wow.
That's so cool though. That really is.
I need that snoring sound again.
Yeah.
That'd be me by like 10 o'clock. I don't care for what I was painting.
But it's awesome when the players see the paintings. It's like I went to a lot of shows. I went to the Toronto show, the big show.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the biggest in North America, and I met a lot of players there and people, and that's what it's all about, meeting the fans and the players, and it's so much fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Interacting with customers is awesome. It's better than sitting at home and on the computer. Way better.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's got to be amazing. That really is.
The States, and do one. I know you've heard of Tim Saunders.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants me to go on his show. If I go to Philly, he wants to bring me in and go on his show. And I don't know if I can, with the COVID and all that. I don't know if we can ever go there yet. But apparently there's a big show there in sports memorabilia I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Shows, and there's supposed to be a big one in Philadelphia or New York, and I'd love to go there and go meet up with them one day. But that would be a cool thing to do,
Oh, absolutely. And it's like I said, you've got an open invitation, and actually Cooperstown has a lot of like painting shops and sports memorabilia shops there too.
Yes.
So That would be really cool too. I'm sure. I'm sure they have hockey stuff down there too. Barry will tell you that.
And then there's Barry stuff. So yeah, he's got plenty.
Exactly.
Gotta go see him for sure.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately he's on my list now because he said he wants my painting to also have the noose around my neck.
Oh, geez.
So that's no.
There goes the promo video for the Ring of Dreams.
The beer can puck behind me, but not the noose.
And pay Darren Pang right behind you. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Well, Sebastien, thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciate it. And like I said, we will certainly have to do this again at some point.
For sure. Thank you so much, guys. It was awesome.
Absolutely. You'll be hearing from me because, like I said, you solved a major problem for me around Christmas and birthdays and all that because I have a few people that are just impossible to buy for.
It's actually good for Christmas. I had one customer he ordered like 10 prints. And I was like, okay, well, and I made him a deal because he ordered so much. And he, after Christmas, he said people were kind of like in Haas, they were like looking at this like, wow, where'd you get this? Like their favorite goaltender or whatever, because you can't find it anywhere,
Sure.
So he was really happy about it, because he was the talk of the table, he said.
Well, rightfully so.
Well, yeah, giving everybody a print of their hockey player that they love,
Absolutely.
Grandma probably didn't like it too much, but
well, like I said, anybody just check out coolliceimages.com because this is fantastic. And of course you'll continue to get interaction out of me on Twitter because like I said, I just love all the stuff you put out there. And again, like I said, you will also be hearing from me soon insofar as ordering some products. So
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Sebastien.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you. And have a great day and enjoy the warm weather.
I will. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That was Sebastien Chabauty. Oh, man, that was so cool.
That was fun.
That really was. Well, Dave, I think that's going to bring us to the end of our first episode for the Sports History Network.
Awesome.
It was a really fun show. And again, if you're just listening to this, go to, again, coolliceimages.com so you can see some of the paintings that we were talking about. And you'll pick it right up, trust me. And if you were watching on YouTube, you got to see the whole thing. And we will definitely have Sebastien back. But in the meantime, it's time for us to go. So for Dave the Save Warner, I'm Scott Kimball. Thanks for listening to Marty's Illegal Stick, a hockey history podcast right here on the Sports History Network. And we will see you next time.